we're about to go. I'm leaving the room because.
Well, stop talking because we're live. I'm having Moco's. Moco's a key.
I know, right? I know, man. It's been horrible. But hey, hello. Good evening, everybody. It's Ron again here with Are You Shitting Me? TMI, the podcast. And as always, I have with me.
I'm his older brother, Mike, in Amarillo, Texas.
We are brothers. Believe it or not. Mike's the older, distinguished, handsome man. And I'm the younger, bald, not so handsome man.
That's why I'm trying to get to it, the myth, wherever it is, right there.
You're the man.
I am the man.
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry.
And he's old.
I went to Doherty.
I was at District 11 school, man. Come on.
I went to D11.
Cut me a break. Cut me a break. But, you know,
on a year-round schedule, no less.
Yeah. So you think we'd be smarter than we are.
Just a bunch of bullshit.
You know, Mike and I were talking backstage. We didn't really have a topic per se of discussion, but I mean, our topic is the same every week. You know, we talk about growing up in the 60s, 70s, and 80s and, you know, kind of things that, you know, defined our lives and in our generations, Mike being the baby boomer of the group and me being the Gen Xer of the group. And I look, I don't know about you, Mike, but I wear that badge proudly.
Oh, absolutely.
And I watch some of these ding dongs on TikTok, and it's funny because it's very accurate when the one person gets on about, shh, don't poke the bear. Don't ask what's wrong with Gen X. You want to ask? We'll fucking tell you. It may hurt your feelings, but we're going to tell you how we feel about it.
Yeah. And so, yeah, you know, we were just like you'd like to say backstage. What we talk about quite a bit here is the perception that we have of our childhood and the things we've experienced versus today. And I was telling Ron that Ron will often ask me, you know, hey, how are things going? Tell us a little bit about what's going on there. Well, when I tell you it's political, it is. And I talk about it for an hour every afternoon on my radio show. And then after that hour, I try to get away from it. Today, I had a couple of phone calls after the show that I had to take care of. And so what I'm running around the block to get to is we've been under a, sanctuary city for the unborn. And it's a pro-life, anti-abortion ordinance here in Amarillo. Now, you have to remember, Texas itself is already an abortion-free state. So there's been a lot of confusion as to what this additional ordinance would do for the city of Amarillo. The reason why I share that is I don't want to get into the meat of it, if you will. But yesterday, they had a public hearing. And they've had 3 now, and it's been pretty civil to this point because you're talking about an emotionally charged topic, right? So you have the pro, the con, the for, and against, and up until yesterday, everything was pretty civil. That changed a little bit yesterday evening because I think one side saw, oh, hell, we're about to lose this thing, and the other side was saying, hey, I think we're about to win this thing. So I'm not going to get into the details, but one of the first girls that approached the podium, and she is against this ordinance, she's very pro-abortion. She approaches the podium. They always have to give their name, so I won't give her name, and they have to say whether or not they live in Amarillo. That's part of our charter. She proceeds to the very first thing, and again, this is the difference between our age and this age. She says, and this is a quote, "Sex is not consent for pregnancy." So I threw that at Ron, and I got that very reaction right
Yeah,
there.
during the
Because,
headlights look.
right? I mean, what in the world? And my thought was, did you try that on somebody before you came to the podium? Did nobody stop you to say, hey, maybe you shouldn't do this? Or did somebody actually say, wow, that sounds awesome?
That's a great point. You should bring that up. You should bring it up.
That's what I'm thinking. Because I'm telling you something, as a baby boomer, and I'm sure you'll say the same thing as a Gen X, we understood if you go dipping that pin in the inkwell, there's a chance you're going to
consequences.
So yeah, chances are, the baby chance is pretty good.
Yeah.
So that brings me back to, and she's either millennial or Z. She was that young. But honest to gosh, that's what she said.
Wow.
Sex is not consent for pregnancy.
But the thing is,
Mike, better tell that guy's sperm and your egg, hey guys,
you can't meet.
Consent to this.
But you know what, Mike? The worst part about that is you will never change their mind about that.
No,
they are dead set that they think that they're right. And look, I'm going to preface by saying I'm not saying anybody's wrong or whatever. You do you, boo. But they're never going to change that fact. But read the Bible every once in a while and see what it has to say about it.
Well, and there's the other problem though, Ron, is they love trying to use. I have a big problem when people take theology and try to bend and shape it to suit whatever their argument or their lifestyle is. And that's one of the phone calls I got after the show today is my argument is always this. I don't know what your walk in faith is. And look, either don't believe or you do believe. As for me, I do believe. I'm a man of faith. So from my perspective, look, there are 10 basic rules that you're supposed to live by. And one of them is thou shalt not kill. Also, theologically, you're encouraged to go out and reproduce. But they get to the podium and both sides, Ron, I'm talking those that are for and those that are against, are trying to use scripture to somehow defend whatever their argument in this fight is. And so I just, the little girl getting up there and the theology aside, that, the doctrine, if you will, for her to use. I mean, I thought I was going to jump out of my skin.
But
seriously,
people do that. And you hit it right in the head. People will, and I'm not by any means a scriptural person, but I, am a religious person, God-fearing person. I know enough to do a little damage, but people can use that. They'll twist it to however they want it to sound. And I'm not. Again, we don't talk about religion, so I'm gonna leave it at that. But no, and like I said, you'll never change people's mind when it comes to stuff like that, because they probably did. They were at a party somewhere, made that statement. They're like, "Oh my God," the light bulb came on, and they're like,
"That's what it sounded like."
You should go to city council and tell them that, because that'll make them understand.
You're gonna kick ass, man. You're gonna rule. So really,
I'm gonna move us past that, because that's a week-long conversation we could have between you and I. But so one of the things that Mike, you and I talk about a lot here is the lack of customer service, and
boom, I got one for you too.
How things were so different back then. Now, literally, an hour ago, what time is it? 6? Yeah, literally an hour ago. I work in construction. I own a construction and handyman business, and I pinched a nerve in my back. So I thought, I'm going to go down, get a massage. So I call and make an appointment for 4:00, and the girl does her job. Nothing fancy, not like, oh my God, best massage ever, but it was okay. So I go to pay, and you walk up to the counter, and there's another lady there, and she's like, oh, would you like to, put I won't do my Asian accent because it'd be rude, but would you like to put a tip on the card? I said, yeah. So I told her how much. She goes like this.
Really?
That's not enough. I looked at her, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know I didn't know it was like a rule. I had the fucking tip. How about you just take the tip I'm offering you, or we can just change it to 0.
Call it good.
Yeah. And so she proceeds to tell me the amount she thinks I should be tipping.
Oh, wow.
And Mike, I had to bite my emmer effing tongue because I'm just like,
Yep.
I'm like, all right, lady. I'm like, you know what? Here's the deal. Either take it or you don't. I said, first off, your online presence says this dollar amount. I get here, it's now $10 more than. Oh, that was years and years and years ago. I'm like, well, whatever you do, don't update your shit.
Not my fault, ma'am.
Yeah. So I mean, she just wanted to butt heads me about it, and then the masseuse, she was an older lady, and she could tell I was getting a little upset, a little heated. And the lady taking the money, and God forgive me for saying this, mumbles something in Chinese or whatever her language is, and then just and I'm like, you know what? Then I'll just never come back. And I was justified by it because the other lady goes, oh no, she was just kidding. I have no idea what she fucking said, but I must have hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, just kidding doesn't buy it with me.
No. Again, Gen X. I don't know if we were backstage talking about it or not, but if you want to know what a Gen Xer is thinking, just ask them.
I'll tell you.
They will wholeheartedly tell you, and probably tell you a lot more than you expected, and it's going to hurt your little sensitive feelings.
Yeah.
So that being said, I set up in my truck right in front of their business, wrote about a 3-page Yelp review.
Did you really?
And hit send, and then it was like, I'm out of here.
So, see, and this runs in our blood. Did I tell you about my recliner? So
you didn't tell me, but I read it. Online.
Yeah, okay, so you read it online.
I was pissed.
I will tell you the power of social media. All right. So, long story short, about 3 years ago, I bought a couple of very expensive pieces of furniture. I've never paid this much money for furniture. I've never had leather furniture. And so about 3 months ago, my recliner decided to take a shit on me. Something was wrong with the armature on one side of the chair. When I bought the furniture, I didn't finance it. I freaking paid for it. And I bought a service plan with it because the furniture, the retail place itself only offered a 1-year service plan. So I thought, I've never had this before. My luck, a little chunkier than the average kid. So I bought the service plan. Well, I had to submit a ticket only to find out that the service plan people, the only way that you can report it is you have to take a few pictures if you can get the pictures, and then you get a little bit of text and you have to submit it online. That's what they gauge the issue on. So they called me about 5 days after that and said, hey, we're sorry, sir, but that's the way you described that. That sounds like normal wear and tear. And I thought, excuse the fuck out of me. Normal wear and tear? And I did. I just laid into her. I said, ma'am, I am not a total idiot. I mean, I have some legal acumen here. And normal wear and tear is a blanket statement that protects you from having to pay out anything. And so I asked, I said, when was the last policy that you covered? And she said, well, I can't tell you that. No, you can't.
Because there are none.
Because there aren't any. And so she got ugly with me. I deserved it. And she said, well, we'll have a technician come by here he'll call out or give you contact you. Have a good day, and hung up on me. 2 weeks later, I get a contact with some kid named Charles. He comes to the house, right? So he tips the chair over, pokes his arm up in there, manages to get his cell phone up there and takes a picture. Wrestled with it for about half hour. And then finally he says to me, well, I had to stuff a piece of cloth up there so it quit poking through the leather. And I said, wait a minute. Time out.
So you admit it's poking through the leather.
So you're a technician, and in technical terms, you're telling me you stuffed a piece of cloth up there, right? So he said that, well, my people, and he was with the service plan, they'll call you and give you a ruling. They called me 3 days later. I'm sorry, but that's going to be normal wear and tear. I came unglued. So I called the place here in town. It's a local chain, if you will. They're in Oklahoma and other places. And so she says to me, she's, oh, I'm so sorry about your experience, sir. We have a liaison that works with the store, that it kind of works between the store and the service provider. And so, again, time out. Did you just say you have a liaison? So this tells me not only is wear and tear a blanket statement that's covering them, but
Covering you.
you clearly have had this problem many times over, so much so that you have a liaison. So one of the other people called me a couple of days later and said, "Hey, listen, sorry you're having this experience. We'd like to send somebody, one of our people, actually from the store." Fine, whatever. In my mind, I'm thinking I'm just going to eat this chair. It's a $2,000 chair. I'm going to just eat the damn thing. So the kid shows up today. I'm going to tell you something. This kid was out freaking standing.
Nice.
Comes in the house. Young man's name is Sean, and polite as can be. And rather than poking his fucking arm up in my chair, he comes in with big boy tools and proceeds to take that chair apart. Ron, my chair was all over the den. I'm going, oh my gosh.
He
Dude,
fucked us up even worse.
are you going to be able to put back? Here's my thought. Are you going to be able to put that back together again? And if you can't, do I get a free chair?
Right.
I'm in, right? And the kid was amazing. And I'm looking at my watch and I'm thinking, God, I got to get to the station, man. I'm running late. So within about 20 minutes of me seeing the chair totally torn apart, he had it all back together again.
Wow.
And can I tell you this? It's perfect. It's the way it ought to be.
And I hope to
Ladies
God
and gentlemen,
you or somebody called that fucking company back.
they're about to hear from Michael J. And
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, look, the best part of the Soul experience is a young man named Sean. The kid was outstanding. I mean, folks, that's how you take care of business. Not my
Amen.
bitch. I shouldn't have had to bitch and moan in the first place. And never let a warranty service provider say to you, "Well, gosh, sir, that sounds like normal wear and tear."
But that's the
Really?
problem in today's day and age, Mike. People aren't built like you and I are. They'll just eat it and just shut their mouth, be like, "Oh, great, I got screwed again." No, fuck that.
I wonder if that's what they think. Fucking
Yeah.
maybe from our Gen X.
And they do. I mean, they prey on the hope that people aren't going to complain, or when they tell them it's the whole wear and tear thing, that they're just, oh, okay, it's just normal wear and tear. No, screw that.
I used to be that
That's
way.
taking advantage.
I used to be like that. I used to be the person that's, I don't want to make any waves. You know what I equate that to? I don't want to be the guy that sends food back only to have the cook spit in it and send it back out to me.
Yeah.
So, but I've gone past that now. When
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
nowadays, Mike, we work way too hard for
Yep.
our money and for what we do to have to settle for something like that.
Well, we shouldn't have to settle, and let that be a lesson to us. Look at the experiences we just shared. Ron's right. Don't settle for that crap, man. If you've been underserved, if you've been wronged, don't take it. Let them know. I mean, look, man, that's the reason why I bought that damn service policy. And that's why I put on on Facebook. Apparently, I bought the service policy to ensure that I'd get service after the sale. Well, apparently I could have spent nothing and been okay.
Yeah, we got the same thing. Yeah.
So anyway.
But it happens. And I think that's going to be that's just always going to be one of my biggest pet peeves is customer stuff. But I will say it's kind of coming around a little bit. And I talked to like last week or the week before about being in Montana and just how the young folks, their customer service level and discipline is so much different than what it is here in the city. And
Right.
it's now to the point now, and I believe I said this months ago on a podcast. When I have to walk into a big box store, Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever you want to call it, I look for the oldest person in the aisle.
Yeah.
Like, you're the guy I want to talk to, or woman, whatever I want to talk to, because they're going to know what they're talking about. It comes back to the whole I'm looking for a left-handed hammer story.
Who I look for when I'm in, well, sadly, my local Home Depot, I think I probably know.
I think they look for you in the Home Depot in San
Yeah, just look for me. I'll tell you where you need to go. But if I'm at another one there, because we have two here in town, if I'm at the other one, you know who I'm looking for? You'll get this. I'm looking for Dad.
Amen. Dude,
I'm looking for
you
Dad.
hit it right on the flipping head. I'm the same way. I'll look around and be like, He looks dad-esque. Let me go ask
Yeah.
this guy.
He looks like he might have some dad
'Cause
quality.
for those of you that are watching that don't understand, you hear us talk about our dad all the time. He was that cat that built, fixed, remedied everything. I don't care if you were working on your car, you were building a piece of furniture, you're laying a flooring, you're building a deck, a fence. I don't care what it was. The guy was a machinist, and you want to talk about just anally, methodically precise. It was ridiculous.
Without the aid of YouTube.
Oh my God, no.
I mean, yeah, that's how good it was.
Dude. And
the
that's
other
that's
thing,
the go ahead.
here's another one is talking about then versus now. Daddy really only had 2 real jobs in his entire life.
Yeah.
He had a couple of Joe jobs as a kid, but when he moved to Colorado Springs, of course, he moved out with Aunt Mickey and Uncle Rick, who Aunt Mickey just passed away. That would have been Daddy's older sister. But he got hooked up with Denver Equipment Company, Joy
Manufacturing. Yep.
And God, he was there for 40 years or more, and then gave a damn near what another
probably almost 3 or 4 different companies too. Also,
yeah. So he retired from there and then went to go work for Home Depot because Dad had to work. He just couldn't sit still, and damn near retired from there before he passed away.
Yeah.
So that's you don't find that in a lot of people these days. Today, you'll get 15, 20 jobs, and I get that with some people and some people I don't.
I've got 7 job man.
So anyway, so there you go.
I'm going to no, I'll do it later. I sent Mike this
tease.
No, I sent Mike this video. I don't know if any of you have watched it, but
you can see it.
I'll just let it play through a little bit and see if anybody's watching at all. See if you understand what it is. Because it's the sad truth. Here's a girl making a fool of herself. Everybody records it. And the next day, they're all making fun of her. Then she's on the side of a building, and then she jumps. And what do? They all record her jumping and splat, hits the ground, take their pictures, and then they all leave.
Wow.
But this it's that whole technology thing. I think it's a good thing. I think it's the devil.
It is kind of a conundrum, isn't it?
It really is. It's because everything nowadays is just instantaneous for kids. There is no, I don't know how to say it. There is no life experience. I don't know. That's the best way I can put it. When's the last time you went out and jumped in a stream or went tubing down a stream or, got pulled behind a truck on an inner tube in the snow or.
You got me thinking it was a, speaking of videos, somebody put one up of a clip of John Wayne. Not even sure what movie it was, but they're standing next to a stream and the little boy.
Oh, yeah.
You know where I'm going?
Yeah.
And he makes a mistake of telling John Wayne, I can't swim.
So he throws the boy in the water.
John picks him up, throws him in the water. Can I tell you something? I wish I could remember. There was a name of a camp, and it was through, I think, Boys Club of Colorado Springs, and it was held every year up in the mountains of Colorado Springs.
Oh shit! I was just getting ready to say.
I know. I wrestle with it constantly.
It's something high.
I really want to think of it.
But tell the rest of it. There's more to that movie. Tell the other part of it.
Well, so the kid learns to swim. And so the lady asked, the woman asked, well, what happens when he gets to the other side? Well, he can swim back. And then she says something about, or you can jump in and go get him.
Yeah, what happens is he throws the kid in the pool. And she goes, why did you do that? He can't swim. She goes, and neither can I.
Neither can I.
Picks her up and throws her into. Oh God, I was just about ready to say it again. It's high.
But I was
Highland High. Oh, you're gonna drive me nuts now, Mike. Damn it.
See, Matt says high
trail. Thank you. That's exactly what it was.
Mine was called something else. It was like named after somebody.
No, the one that Matt and I would have gone to, because I think I was in like 5th or 6th grade when I went, and it was High Trails. Yes.
Now, did you go through Boys Club?
No, I think it was through the school district, actually.
Yeah, see, this wasn't a district deal. This was a Boys Club, which If you're not familiar with Boys Club of America, it's, for poor and troubled kids. That's literally what it was.
Do we still have one? Because we don't have a Boy Scouts anymore.
Well, yeah, no, I don't even know if Boys Club exists anymore. But I was at that camp, and it's wonderful because I can still occasionally recall the smell of rotten canvas,
Dude,
nasty.
I'm going through it right now.
And but I couldn't swim. Guess how I learned how to swim, kids? A counselor picked my ass up and threw me in the lake. And by God, I figured how to get back to shore. And then I was all, but what was cool is everybody on the shore was clapping for me.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, there's support. You do that today and you're turned in for, child abuse, attempted murder.
Right.
So
I remember High Trails because I didn't go with Matt. I don't know if Matt went or not, but when I was there was some kids that he was friends with, and I can't remember the one kid's name. Matt, if you remember who it was, help me out. But I went to High Trails with him, and this is back when this had to have been late 70s ish, around there, late 70s, maybe early 80s. I don't think that long, but this is when Another One Bites the Dust came out. When was that? 77, 78?
Yeah, Another One Bites the Dust was about 70.
78,
yeah, 76, 77.
Yeah. Anyway, that's when that was just out. And it was funny because this kid I'm talking about, and mind you, I'm like 10 years old at the time. They had this barn, and we'd all go in there for our meeting. Brent, that's who it was. Yes. We're in this barn with all these bales of hay where all the kids would get together before we went on whatever activity we were going to be doing for that day. And this other kid, it was just kind of punk everybody, fell from the top bales of hay and down, and at the same time went, "Another one bites the dust."
Oh no. Oh no.
And so that's literally one of my core memories from that time was that event. Yeah, it was very much that, I think it was somewhere out toward where's the gambling place up there? Cripple Creek.
Cripple Creek, yeah.
I think it was out in that direction somewhere. But yeah, you're right, Matt. It was Brent Baxter. But did you go when I went, Matt? I don't think you and I went together for some reason. But yeah, it was the proverbial, boy girl camp. What kids do,
Yep. Well, and the reason why we got off on that tangent a little bit was you were showing that video of it's the black and white, the old Looney Tunes kind of a thing. But it's very accurate, and it's accurate to the point that that's where we are. Whenever there's something afoot, something's happening, it makes me just mad as hell that video exists. There's 20 shots of this poor guy getting pummeled or whatever the case is. There's 20 or 30 videos being shot of it. Not a damn one of them lending a hand.
Doing anything to help.
And
but I want to stop you right there, Mike. And you said it earlier, because you run the risk of getting arrested. You get assault charges, you get battery charges. Yeah. Even if you're the good guy and you're trying to help stop the fight, you're still going to get yourself. And that's just pathetic, man. It's
Yep.
It's horrible. I can't even express it. It's just fucking stupid.
And it's never going to change. We're there. I mean, this. We keep asking, when will we return to normal? This is normal. We're there.
Well, what our normal was back then is not now, but it's now is normal, and then 10 years from now will be their normal. But I tell you what, man, and I've said it before, and I'll always say it, if we treated each other the way we did when we were kids, it'd be a much better world. Was it perfect? Not by a long shot. It wasn't
no.
Perfect. But we had an understanding, I think, maybe an unspoken rule of, we were all part of the same team at one point in time or another.
And it didn't matter what color your fucking skin was. It didn't matter what your political view was. Did gay exist back then? Sure.
No.
Well,
but it wasn't being flaunted, so we didn't know.
It wasn't being forced on us.
Yeah. We had no idea.
Did we know gay people? I knew a few, but we didn't give a flying shit. Nobody cared. And so today it brings me back to like what I've watched in the last few weeks. It's just troubling to see young people think and feel. Hey, let me leave you with this one though. Okay, I wish I brought it home. Do this. Look this up. Look up Canadian American Cancer Society and use the word cervix. Okay, that's should get you to the story I'm going to try to paraphrase for you. So recently, the largest cancer awareness money raising society in Canada issued on their website an apology to trans and non-binary people for using the word cervix when they're talking about cancer. They said perhaps we should use a more preferred term of, and I shit you not, front hole, because they want to be, fair to everyone when they're talking about cervical
cancer.
And so when I read that, I thought, Earth to
who Canada, the fuck ever.
Boys and men don't have cervixes. I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
I think Mr. Rogers said it best. When you're born a boy, you become a boy. Man. When you were born a girl, you become a woman. Yep. Period. Point blank. So I called Mike and I told him something earlier today, and I told him yesterday. I told him I wasn't sure if I wanted to say it on live or not, but I just want to say it.
You're going to go for it.
I have to. It's like, because look. I'm a Gen Xer, heart and soul. Mike's a baby boomer. Matt's a Gen Xer.
We're ending on this.
Oh yeah, we have to. So when we were kids, 16, 17 years old, and we're working on a car or something. If I went to Mike and said, "Hey, Mike, I blew a tranny," he knew exactly what I was fucking talking about.
Yeah, car don't work.
Man, that just opens the Pandora's box of. I'm sorry. Did what?
You did what?
You
didn't.
Yeah. So anyway, on that note, let's keep it in perspective. And I know there's some of us out there that are going through it, and just the prayers your way. Cousin Raj is not feeling well right now. He had to, I guess, have some hernia surgery, so he's kind of down and out. I talked to him a little bit today, so prayers to you, speedy recovery. Matt, love you, man. Thank you for showing up every week. You are our biggest, best supporter. I'm gonna give you a free trip to my house in Vegas when you get here.
That's better than what we get, Matt.
Shit. All right. Well, I love you guys. And until next week, we'll see you then. And hey, all you dads out there, happy Father's Day this weekend. Thank you for all the hard work and the things you do for your kids. And be a stand-up guy, man. Don't be a bitch and walking on your kids.
Word up. Couldn't put it better, man. Love you, brother.
All right. Love you. Bye.
Bye.